Adam Hadwin is the PGA Tour's newest first-time winner. Hadwin, who shot 59 earlier this year, now adds his first tour win to the resume, capturing the Valspar Championship.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
Hi there, welcome to Golf Central. What a Sunday it was at the Valspar Championship. Ryan Burr with PGA Tour winner Aaron Oberholzer, Masters champion Trevor Immelman. And guys, it's why it's the toughest thing to do, and that is win on the PGA Tour. A 4-shot lead is completely gone by the final hole of the day. But Adam Hadwin finds a way to hang on, does it with a par, and is now a winner on the PGA Tour. Your thoughts?
Just incredible golf today. I thought we were going to get a snooze fest to start the day with Adam Hadwin just kind of marching along. Just because the golf course had played so difficult, I thought he was going to be hard to catch. Patrick Cantlay had other ideas, and I'm telling you, I think we saw a star being born today in Patrick Cantlay finally getting his comeuppance.
That's a good point. And just goes to show the depth of talent in the game of golf around the world. These two guys were going at it on that back nine. It was fascinating. We were glued to our TVs back there watching. Congrats to Adam, the 14th Canadian to win on the PGA Tour.
A lot to get into, including what goes in the mind of a player with a couple holes to play when they are seemingly in arm's length of getting that first PGA Tour win. You could really see the mental game playing incredibly as this drama played out over the canvas at Copperhead. Let's get to the highlights, and we have many. What a day it would turn out to be. The Canadian flag in force for Adam Hadwin. Started the day with a 4-shot lead. And at times, it seemed insurmountable. But playing in that final group, the former #1 amateur in the world, Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah, this is the 9th hole after they've been kind of battling back and forth. And Patrick hit some poor wedges up to this point, but starts here with a fantastic wedge from 120 yards. Gets it to 4 feet, trying to chip into that lead.
He makes birdie there, so he's 3 back, shaves 1. Hadwin now at 10, hitting his second from 123.
And his iron game has been fantastic this week. Beautiful technique, balance, and rhythm through the ball. And that is a terrible break there for Adam.
Just a horrible break. Would have likely been in close for birdie. Instead, it's a 2-putt par. The lead remains just 3. Same hole. This is really where Cantlay started to apply the pressure as the putter became red hot.
That's it did after another solid wedge shot from the right side of the hole, putting up the hill. Righties love those soft right to lefters.
And suddenly Cantlay is only 2 back. The 11th now, the par 5 from 108.
And he's got that game face going at this point. He knows he's got to make some birdies. And he dials this wedge in beautifully.
And it was at this point you felt like they were the only 2 players on the golf course. It was match play. It was mano-a-mano. Anything you can do, I can do better.
This was huge. Clutch to send him a message after Cantlay had stuck it in there 6 feet.
But Cantlay, tough to make this after the bomb is dropped, but he does chest that birdie. Both guys making the putt, both guys executing with the irons, and once again the lead stays at 2, but Cantlay stays on the gas.
Love the way he sets up on the right side of the tee box, playing the high fade into that back right pin.
Who goes at this pin, Trevor? Who goes at that pin? Come on.
A man who is feeling good about his game, Aaron.
Goodness gracious.
4 feet for Cantlay. Hadwin, he's some 53 feet away, so you really believe the lead is going to go to 1 here, right?
Just a 2-putt, Burr. That's all you're looking for. Just a 2-putt. Come on, man. Come on, man. Are you serious?
Same putt Schwartzel made last year.
Exactly right.
53 feet for birdie. Hadwin moves to 16 under. Cantlay again has to find a way to answer.
He's got to be thinking to himself, man, I can't get one back on this guy, but beautiful way to follow him in there with the birdie.
So we go to 14. Cantlay again, another chance for birdie. Look at a birdie, 5 of 6 holes.
And this putt had some swing on it. Not a great wedge shot in there. Pace, too. Can't believe the pace he hit that with. What a clutch putt.
Patrick goes to 15 under. He's 1 off the lead. We've seen Hadwin answer every single time, but not here.
Was looking good. Just a little, too little break.
And the lead is 1. They go to the par 3 15th. Remember, 5 par 3s on this golf course. Cantlay miserable out of the bunker.
Yeah, he catches this one thin. Very difficult bunker shot there. A lot harder than it looked, and I think he made the mistake from the tee, Trevor. He had to hit it out to the right, showing a little inexperience there.
He struggled out of the bunker all week. Meanwhile, Hadwin has this to take the lead to 2 again, and he drops it 16 under. And at that point, you really felt like Adam Hadwin, with a few holes to play, could cruise into victory. However, there is a thing called the snake pit.
Little concerned with the way that he didn't tee the ball up all the way on the right side of the box when he decided he was going to play the fade. Comes out of it, leaves the face open, and at this point, it's anyone's game.
There's a little thing called the snake pit. For 4 days, we said no bite in the snake. The snake pit shows once again its fangs. That ball's in the water. Cantlay, he does tee it up to the right. Beautiful fade right down the gut.
That was, to Trevor's point, that was what you needed to do. You play with more fairway that way. Make the mistake to the left. Cantlay hits a beautiful drive.
So now the pressure shifting to Cantlay and Hadwin go into the last.
And a lot of times when you've got an uphill lie, you tend to pull it. Looks like he just came out of that one there trying to adjust for that. Was always to the right, and he opens the door.
So meanwhile, not shown in the highlights, after the ball went in the water, we're now tied.
We're tied. Exactly right.
Kind of an omission there, but let's point out that the match is now tied. So now at 18, we jump ahead to. This is Hadwin. And
solid shot, put it on the right level, Brian.
Cantlay in the bunker, where really struggled all week long, just could not find his range.
Well, we remember him hitting the one thin on 15. Doesn't want to do that again. Catches a little too much sand here, Ryan. Doesn't get its way up that ridge. And at this point, it's back to being Adam's tournament, win or lose.
Wow, Patrick Cantlay is going to spend a lot of time in the sand in the next couple of days because he knows it cost him his first PGA Tour win. Meanwhile, Hadwin, his third.
That was a lot harder than he made that look, trying to catch the middle of that ball perfect with that wedge. Great play. Don't know that you or I would have tried that at that point.
Cantlay
Trevor,
for the sand save to force a playoff.
Gives it a good run, just runs by the edge, and look at him, he knows. But what a great showing from the young man.
Oh, it's an incredible story. A story we'll get into. Patrick Cantlay, former #1 amateur in the world that disappeared from the game of golf due to injury, due to personal tragedy. But this is the story of the day. The Canadian Adam Hadwin, the tap in at 18. Par does it as he is able to not only get his first win, but he's also heading to the Masters. That's his fiancée. Their honeymoon was scheduled for the week of the Masters. Travel agent line 3. We need to change our plans as Adam Hadwin will now be at Augusta National. 14 under, Cantlay 13 under. Incredible drama down the stretch as the snake pit and Hadwin all of a sudden were tied. But really incredible stuff. Let's start certainly with our winner, Adam Hadwin. And this is a guy that shot 59. It's a guy that on 3 different occasions in 2017 has had a 9 of 29. The game has been there. It was about putting it together. He had a 1-shot lead heading into the final round of Career Builders and lost. Today he closes the deal. Wasn't easy.
No.
But he closes the deal.
And it never is on the PGA Tour. And that's just a great example of, I believe, what guys can expect week in and week out on the PGA Tour. You can expect a guy coming from behind and trying to take the victory from you, just like Patrick Cantlay tried today. But he did what he needed to do to get the job done, and he hit some great shots coming down the stretch. But I thought the most telling thing was actually his short game coming down the stretch. He'd been hitting the ball pretty well all day. He missed his last 4 greens in a row, 15, 16, 17, and 18, and was still able to get the job done. You don't usually see when the battle's that tight, Trevor. You usually don't see a guy miss those kind of greens like that and still able to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, he's played beautifully all week long. It's been a steady progression for him in his 3rd year on tour. Like you say, had a few chances already. And, man, that golf on the back 9 was just tremendous.
Stellar.
It was great to watch.
Guys, let's go big picture here. Clearly, when you win, you see what it can do to guys. Sometimes you take a step back because it's overwhelming. Other guys, it is an absolute springboard to future success. The game that Hadwin has showed really the last couple months, what do you think this win does for him?
Well, it depends on how he thinks of it. So if you think of winning as your goal, then maybe you rest on your laurels a little bit because you know how hard it is to win on the PGA Tour, and maybe you kind of take a step back and regress a little bit. Or if you look at it as a stepping stone, which is, I think, and your goals are bigger, and you set your goals very high, which I think most PGA Tour players do, then that's all this is, Trevor, is just a stepping stone on the way to wherever the greatest of his goals lead him, really.
Well, like we touched on earlier, it's going to start with a nice little trip to Georgia and Augusta National. I'm sure he's pretty excited about that. And I'll tell you one other person who is really happy with this result. Down in South Florida, Nick Price has just cracked a beer because his President's Cup team just got another Canadian on the team. It
just got a little bit better for sure. So Adam Hadwin, what a week it has been. Now a first-time winner on the PGA Tour. He spoke with our Chantel McCabe.
Well, all of the hard work has finally paid off to be here after that 59 earlier in the season, and now to win this event at the Valspar Championship. It was a tough stretch to finish, but how do you feel right now knowing you have this victory secured?
Oh, a huge sigh of relief. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I certainly didn't knock myself out of the tournament with 16, but I made it a lot closer than I was liking it to be, and you know, I knew I just need to keep battling, keep hitting some good shots, and who knows what can happen. You know, 17, 18 are no bargains. And I hit some good shots there and was just luckily had to tap in on 18. I don't know if I would have made it if it was much further.
What exactly happened on 16? Not the tee shot you wanted. It was unusual for you to hit that given the rest of your week.
Yeah, you know, that kind of came out of nowhere. I had really striped it all day and all week, and I stuck with the same shot that I've been hitting the first 3 days, just a little cut off the left tree and up and out of it a little thin, and you know, just didn't have enough to carry. But you know, proud of myself the way I kind of hung in there in that hole, and I just missed the bogey putt too. But you know, this course was going to be a grind the whole way through, and I'm very fortunate to be standing here with you.
What did it take to grind through the end there? And you mentioned that your fiance has kept your cool, calm, and collected demeanor. How did that factor in today? How'd you do it?
Yeah, well, I was never out of it. I mean, I was right there. You know, despite making double, I was still tied for lead with 2 to go. Still needed to focus and try and get the job done. And, you know, really thought that I was going to have to make a birdie in one of those last 2 holes. But, you know, just kind of kept the head down and made a couple putts when I needed to.
And you take a look at just how good he has been with the lead. Able to finish up those leads with not wins, but still able to get top 10s, career builders, and finish his second to Swafford all the way back in 2011, a top five there, but able to close the deal today. A 4-shot lead was enough for Adam Hadwin to get the 1-shot lead. The par at 18 is able to get it done. Still to come here on Golf Central. The other storyline, which was truly incredible, the play of Patrick Cantlay, once pinned as a can't-miss kid, showing all that talent on a sponsor's exemption. What is next for Cantlay, and how big is this solo second-place finish? That and more as we continue.
Golf Central is brought to you by Titleist, the #1 ball at the Valspar Championship. Bushnell Golf and the Tour X. Slope technology when you want it, tournament legal when you need it.